Australia's a great country. Queensland's a great state. Brisbane's the capital of Queensland, and I'd like to show you Brisbane.
There is one city in Australia that's a bit different, a bit warmer, a little bit more casual. A city that prides itself on being natural and friendly. An environment that's surprising for a capital city. A city where people can make the most of our superb climate. A city where winter doesn't seem to exist. Where people can swim or paddle a canoe all year round. Where sports enthusiasts can water ski right on the city limits of our fine river, or perhaps sail the calm tropical waterways and work in the atmosphere of a city that's a little less frantic. Where the pace of the southern cities is left behind for a more natural, outdoor lifestyle. Where even a dog's life is something to write home about. That city is Brisbane. From whatever direction you look at Brisbane, you'll find it's a city of spectacular views. To the east, you'll see Brisbane's Moreton Bay, where small tropical islands form a maze of beautiful blue water channels. Everyone likes to view Brisbane their own way. Some from a bird's eye view, others from Mount Cootha Lookout. From here, span unparalleled views, stretching over 30 kilometres to the sea and to Brisbane's Bayside suburbs. This view can be taken in strolling round the walkways, as a close-up view from the summit, and others like to view Brisbane in comfort at one of Brisbane's most pleasant restaurants, situated right beside the lookout point. To the north and west, behind Mount Cootha, stretches the Brisbane State Forest, reaching 23 kilometres to the northwest and 20 kilometres to the southwest, with scenic walks, good old Aussie barbecue areas, and Australia's unique flora and fauna. Within the forest area are three large bodies of water: Lake Manchester, Enoggera Reservoir, and Gold Creek Reservoir, which supply water to Brisbane. Brisbane has other water storage areas, which include Somerset Dam, the Wildman Dam and restaurant were completed in 1985. When this dam is full, it'll hold 2 to 3 times the water capacity of Sydney Harbour, and is expected to take many years to fill. Brisbane's Southeast Freeway makes a spectacular view as it winds its way through the southern suburbs right to the heart of the city and merges the main arterial roads that will take you in any direction in Queensland's sunshine capital. Contrasting colours stemming from Brisbane's parks and gardens, many of which are situated on the banks of the Brisbane River, like New Farm Park, make for a delightful and tranquil haven to relax and take in the natural surroundings of Brisbane's 200 parks and gardens. A favourite meeting place for lunch is Brisbane's Anzac Square. Its characteristic bottle trees, Brachychiton rupestris, that's for you educated lot, makes for a great shade and a quiet spot to unwind for the city workers who can escape for an hour at lunchtime. Brisbane's character and atmosphere are accentuated by the abundant growth of spectacular flowering trees and shrubs, which abound in a magnificent profusion of colour. Natural flora and tropical greenery are not just exclusive to Brisbane suburbs. The city also has a distinctive natural atmosphere. A 5-minute walk from the city heart is Brisbane's Botanical Gardens, with its serene lakes and lush greenery making a perfect backdrop to Brisbane's skyline. It's a favourite spot for Brisbane photographers and for cyclists who take advantage of the nearby bike hire service. Brisbane's second Botanical Gardens, on the west side of the city, offers a number of attractions. In addition to the tropical gardens and walkways, people can wander through the indoor hothouse or visit the planetarium, enjoy a pleasant meal in the restaurant. People of all ages can identify with the lovely atmosphere Brisbane's Botanical Gardens offer. In keeping with our tropical plants and gardens, Brisbane has a style of architecture that's unique from the rest of Australia. Southern visitors are always delighted by the charm and elegance of the old Queenslander. A large part of Queensland's history has been preserved in these gracious old homes. Ornate iron lacework, bay windows, and polished Queensland timber have graced thousands of houses that have been faithfully restored to capture the old world charm and style of Queensland's Victorian and Edwardian eras. In Brisbane are to be found many old and fine churches. The original St Stephen's Church, built in 1847, has been replaced by St Stephen's Cathedral, completed in 1874. The Albert Street Uniting Church is unique with its magnificent pipe organ and the picturesque atmosphere it generates, sitting amongst Brisbane's modern high-rise. Around the suburbs are other fine churches which stand as a monument to a style of architecture long past, but not forgotten, in Brisbane's history. The grand style of Brisbane Story Bridge has dominated the southern approach to the city since 1939. The massive iron lacework spans 1.5 kilometres across the river, linking Kangaroo Point and Fortitude Valley. This majestic structure could tell many a story, as it has witnessed much of Brisbane's history and progress. The colour of Brisbane's history originated from her early days as a convict settlement. First built in 1829 as a windmill, the old observatory has experienced a checkered career Since then, it has been a museum, a signal station, an observatory, and in 1935, the site of Brisbane's first television broadcast. Each year, George Street relives the heritage of this bygone era. Many memories and great atmosphere are created as the clocks are turned back and Brisbane people in the costumes of the early days revive the ways and lifestyle of early settlement. An explosion of colour over the city announces the beginning of celebrations for the premier event on Brisbane's festive calendar, Warana. Over 10 action-packed days and nights, Brisbane showcases a smorgasbord of entertainment, culminating in Warana's massive parade through the city streets. While Warana continues to add fun, laughter and culture to our city, Brisbane is experiencing a dramatic rate of development. The magnificently designed Central Plaza 1, based on the structure of a crystal, spirals up 48 stories, adding a new dimension to the city's golden triangle. The Maya Centre was opened in our bicentennial year. The heritage of earlier days has been maintained in the restored facades of the original Queen Street buildings. Inside, it's quite a different story as Brisbane comes into the space age, with multi-level shopping in a huge complex that's dominated by space and by light. It's like another world. Roller coaster rides, carousels, heaps of shops. Gifts and toys, artists to draw your picture, and of course, somewhere to buy your Akubra. It's also breathtaking. The spectacular opening of the Riverside Centre generated heaps of excitement for those people who dropped in for the celebrations, and for some who dared to crash the party. Riverside is also big on style, with its modern, clean lines, cool flowing fountains, and mezzanine-level cafes overlooking the river. The Winter Garden complex is another typical example of the way we like to live here in Brisbane. The Winter Garden captures the style and sophistication of more upmarket and fashionable clothing, jewellery, and of course food, with such establishments as New Orleans catering for a wide range of tastes. The Winter Garden is part of a total theme for the city heart, which includes a world-class Hilton hotel, Brisbane's Hilton Hotel has an unusual indoor atrium. That's posh talk for a big indoor space. In this case, about 30 stories high. It gives you a calm, peaceful feeling. Built for train and coach travellers from around Queensland and interstate is the Roma Street Transit Centre. It sits alongside the Interstate Rail Terminal and has also been made the major coach terminal for Brisbane. Tourists don't have to look far for accommodation because the designers provided for their need when they built the Travelodge Hotel as part of the complex. The federal government paid out $600 million to build a new airport at the mouth of the Brisbane River, all reclaimed from mangrove swamp. Its 23-storey control tower is an impressive feature, easily dominating the surrounding plains. The new airport is the gateway for thousands of visitors to Brisbane and the surrounding areas. Opened on the 11th of January 1986, the gateway is a 6-lane bridge spanning the Brisbane River. It features the longest main span for a concrete cantilever construction in the world. 260 metres. At its highest point, it towers 33 stories over the river to allow passage to the many cargo vessels and host of pleasure craft en route to Moreton Bay. With Brisbane's casual style and atmosphere, it's no wonder Brisbane was chosen as the location to host the leisure in the 80s World Expo. Expo 88's outstanding location on the banks of the Brisbane River was the perfect place to show the rest of the world how to live and how to enjoy your spare time. What better place to do just that than Brisbane? Now, everyone loves a koala. And koalas are not just for mums and dads. So bring the kids in, and I'll tell you a story about some very special koalas. Once upon a time, in Koala Town, there were 3 bears. Uncle Bill, who snoozed a lot. Little Martha, who snoozed a lot. And Cousin Jack, who snoozed a lot too. Senor Ramon Guerrero and the beautiful dancing stallions performed wonderful feats of courage and skill. Surely the koalas would be impressed. The incredible Bucky performed the daring battle avant. Uncle Bill still snoozed. Florian performed Lavard. Little Martha and Cousin Jack stayed sound asleep. Fabuloso did the Spanish walk. Did the koalas care? No. They did open one eye when Bo Bailey performed Capriole. They even sat up a little when Spinnaker performed Corbeil. But when the show was over, they were still sleeping peacefully. Then they heard the sound of children's voices in the koala house. Their ears wriggled, and they sat up and began to munch on their gum leaves. People had come to see them. It was time for the koala show. Souvenir pictures with the visiting mums and dads. It's all very important. Another picture on the horse for the kids. That's important too. But as Uncle Bill said to his mates, horses are wonderful, but koalas are special. The echo of hooves on stony ground. The driver's whistle as horses pull their burden over rolling hills. The pioneering spirit brought back to life. It's all in a day's work. Queensland's only restored original Cobb & Co coach carries on our pioneering tradition. Keeping the pioneering tradition alive is a big part of today's Australia. It means Steve Ralph and the Cobb & Co coach this Aussie battler restored himself are very much in demand by movie makers.
That was good. Terrific.
Photographers and our school children. At the Caboolture Historic Village, you can still sample the bush, a boiling billy tea, the smell of gum leaves, and the taste of damper the way it used to be. Come and meet Steve and the team here at his home base, the Caboolture Historic Village.
In a land that's seen some changes since Cobb and Co. passed by, in dusty heat waves dancing from Burke to Gundagai. Across the hazy regions, the mail coach thundered by. She spied a web this country in days that have gone by. The country folk she carried to cities and the towns, the miners that were traveling in search of better ground. The teamsters and their horses, as tough as Gidgee wood, from granite belts in southern states through Queensland droughts and floods. Now the spirit of our Cobb and Co. is on the move again, rolling up the country and back to days as when Ream and Cobb made history in a land so hard and old. Yes, the spirit of our Cobb and Co. is back out on the road. If you see the old white mail coach somewhere on the track, 100 years of history she'll be bringing back. So climb aboard and travel and feel the spirit flow in days of Henry Lawson and the lights of Cobb and Co. Now the spirit of our Cobb and Co. is on the move again, rolling up the country and back to days as when Ream and Cobb made history in a land so hard and old. Yes, the spirit of our Cobb and Co. is back out on the road. Now the spirit of our Cobb and Co. is on the move again, rolling up the country and back to days as when Ream and Cobb made history in a land so hard and old. Yes, the spirit of our Cobb and Co. is back out on the road. Yes, the spirit of Australia is back out on the road.
It's no wonder we're proud of our home. To sum up Brisbane in a few words, Brisbane is natural. Brisbane is warm and friendly.
But most of all, Brisbane is ours. It's home, and we're proud of Brisbane. And someday soon, we'd like you to come and say, "G'day" to Brisbane.